Hello and welcome to this episode of I Don't Know Jack About Parenting, where I want to know if you fear the worst when it comes to your kids.
So the big question is this: how are parents like us, who don't have a manual, who are doing the best we can, who feel as though we aren't enough, how are we going to raise healthy, happy children who we are proud of and still keep our sanity in that process? That's the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. My name is Ryan Roy, and welcome to I Don't Know Jack About Parenting, a podcast for parents who are being real with themselves.
Hello and welcome back to this episode of I Don't Know Jack About Parenting, where today I'm going to be talking about, do you just think or fear the worst when it comes to your kids? So I'm going to share with you, it's been an interesting first 2 months of the second year of my son's life, or I guess the third year, right? He's 0 to 1 is 1 year, 0 to 2 is 2 years, and 2 to 3 is 3 years. And as I've expressed in earlier episodes of this podcast, I don't know jack about parenting, that my 2-year-old tends to get in a little bit of trouble at school. He is, for lack of a better term, the class bully. He gets sent home. We get sent home last week. I think in 3 days, we had 7 write-up slips of him biting or pushing other kids. And we actually had one a couple weeks ago where the kid bit him, probably in retaliation, and got him good because he had a mark on him for about 2 weeks. And my wife, her biggest fear, now mind you, we have a relationship with this daycare, but she believes that he's doing so poorly, and I think she only has one other kid to compare to, which was a saint, for lack of a better term, that she's like, we may have to hire a nanny. No other daycare is going to take him. He is horrible. She wants to get a therapist for him. He's 2 years old. And I'm like, I don't think we need to go there yet. He could be teething. He's going through a little bit of a stage. He does like his things, right? He thinks he's an only child, and he will literally push kids out of the way to get the things that he wants. But my question is, and think of this. I know my wife used to have these. The question is, do you think the worst when it comes to your kids? Did like these huge fears, like her fear is that we're going to have to go and find another daycare. When we've had a relationship with this daycare for 7+ years, they know our family, they know how we parent, they know that we're trying to be as proactive as possible for a kid, and they're like, listen, 2-year-olds teethes, 2-year-olds bite, 2-year-olds do this, and we actually have our parent-teacher session with his teachers today, and her fear is that they're going to kick him out. And I'm like, I don't think we need to worry about that. I don't think we're that far along. I don't think this is so far out of left field. And maybe I am just overly confident that he's going through a stage and that this won't continue through the rest of his life. I think whatever we draw attention to expands, right? Whatever we focus on expands. And if we could focus on the negative of this kid, a couple incidences, albeit almost on a daily basis now, or at least an incident a day. We don't want that to be normal, but he's not singling out an individual kid. He's not doing it at a specific time. This is just him like wanting what he wants when he wants it, and he's doing what he has to get it, without having all the communication skills that are necessary to get the things that we desire. But I also remember, and I've had these dreams since also, I also remember that my wife, when we first had our first son, used to have these horrible nightmares about things happening to him, about him, falling asleep and not waking up, and I mean not waking up, like him passing away, and worried about just the strangest things to me. But then years later, as he got older, and I was probably disconnected as he was an infant, or not as connected as I am now. I wouldn't say I was disconnected. I just grown these boys, the more I'm around them, the more I love them. And so as time grows, I guess some parents get frustrated, or man, and I can't speak for anybody else, but my love for these children just keep growing as they grow and expand, and I grow and expand as a person. But the question is, why do we think the worst? Why can't we look at it? And I said, listen, let's wait till we have the assessment. Let's go talk to the administration. Let's talk to the owner, and let's find out what we can do together, if anything, or what they could suggest to us. Now, one of the things we did over the weekend, we were bringing the older one. He wanted to go to the bookstore, wanted to get a couple books. He got a few books in the clearance rack for the little one. There were some books on biting and keeping your teeth are not for biting and hands are not for pushing, which were perfect for him. And then we read them multiple times. And, teeth are for chewing our food. And if we do get angry, we don't bite a person, we can bite a pillow. Hands are not for shoving. Hands are to be nice, to love on each other, to hug on each other. And I think he was getting it. He just needs reinforcement. So this is what I would say to you as a parent. If your child or children are having those challenges, let's talk to them through books. Let's talk to them through education. Let's talk to them about what they should do. Listen, it says teeth are not for biting, but teeth are for chewing, right? Hands are not for shoving, but it tells you what the things are. So try to focus on what your limbs are used for, or your extremities, or your teeth in this case, what they're used for. Let's just not focus on what not to do with them. I don't know jack about parenting, and I struggle, and sometimes I probably think the worst too. But that's a dark world perspective when we can see light in darkness. So choose carefully your thoughts and try to make them as positive as possible. Because whatever you think may come out of your mouth or come out of you energetically. And if we're always thinking negative, we may just end up with a negative life, when it's so much easier to think positive thoughts. We'll see you in the next episode.
Do you want to be the dad you wish you had? If so, go get my free book, Be the Dad You Wish You Had, at BeTheDadYouWishYouHad.com. Inside, you'll find my most effective 40 tips to quickly and easily transform yourself into the ideal dad. Go to BeTheDadYouWishYouHad.com now and get it while it's free.